Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving deep into the controversial legacy of Abraham Kuyper. Yeah, the theologian, journalist, politician, and prime minister who shook up Dutch Calvinism.
Absolutely. It's fascinating stuff. So, Kuyper wasn't content with keeping faith in a church silo. He pushed it into politics, education, and even economics, right?
Right. He was all about what he called neo-Calvinism, a revival of Calvinist thought for a modern world.
Yeah.
Essentially, he believed that Christ's sovereignty um, wasn't just for the pulpit, but for, like, every single sphere of life.
So, you're saying he thought no part of our existence was outside of Christ's influence?
Exactly. His famous declaration goes, "There is not a square inch in the whole domain of our human existence over which Christ does not cry, mine." And that, um, was pretty radical back then.
I can imagine. That kind of statement must have raised some eyebrows among his contemporaries, right?
Oh, for sure. His boldness put him at odds with many powerful figures. In 1886, he led the Doleantie, which was essentially a mass secession from the Dutch Reformed
Yeah.
Church. His critics called it arrogance while he defended it as unwavering faithfulness.
Wow. So he was willing to, break away from centuries of tradition to preserve his convictions.
Absolutely, and not only that, he also founded the Free University of Amsterdam in 1880 to ensure that theology, science, and politics all
Right.
bowed to Christ's rule. Quite the visionary move, though it ruffled a lot of secular feathers.
But isn't it a bit ironic? I mean, blending theology and politics sounds ambitious, but some might say it also paves the way for, divisiveness in society.
That's a good, challenge. His idea of sphere sovereignty, which means that church, state, and schools each should rule their own, distinct domains under Christ's lordship, has been both hailed as genius and criticized as fostering a divided tribal society.
Yeah, right. So, on one hand, it promoted independence, but also, segregated communities based on religious beliefs.
Exactly. Fast forward a bit, and you see this influence crossing the Atlantic. Dutch immigrants carried Kuyper's ideas into West Michigan, creating a, unique cultural and political landscape there.
That's really intriguing. The idea that his influence helps shape a whole regional culture. Was that mostly in education?
Education was a huge part. In Grand Rapids, you have institutions like the Christian Reformed Church, Calvin University, and even Kuyper College itself. His theology directly inspired the establishment of Christian schools, newspapers, and institutions throughout West Michigan.
So his legacy is not just historical, but still very much alive in local politics and education?
Right, his impact seeped into the region's political landscape, too. The community became a bloc of socially conservative, religiously motivated voters. Politicians in places like Ottawa and Kent counties often lean on Kuyperian values to drive initiatives related to Christian education and, moral order.
That must have had a transformative effect on local policies, especially around issues like family values or education funding.
Exactly. For instance, his push for state-funded Christian schooling became a major issue. Even today, debates inside the Christian Reformed Church, whether about sexuality, justice, or public funding, reflect his enduring influence.
Interesting. But I wonder, don't you think his insistence on separating spheres might also limit cross-dialogue among different groups?
Yep, that's a point some critics raise. They argue that sphere sovereignty, while promoting autonomy, can also fragment society into cliques. Some see it as tribalism rather than a true celebration of
Yeah.
diversity.
It's like trying to govern a team where everyone only listens to their own coach, right? There's a risk of losing the bigger picture.
Exactly. And, while scholars like James D. Bratt and George Houting praise him as a visionary who shaped political and educational landscapes, others argue that his model created rigid societal divisions.
So, would you say that his legacy is a double-edged sword, simultaneously brilliant and problematic?
That's a perfect way to put it. His life forces us to ask, what happens when faith refuses to stay private and instead wants to shape the
Right.
entire world? He's seen as a prophet of renewal by some and an architect of division by others.
It must have taken a lot of guts to stand up and say, "This is how the world should be," especially in a time when the church was, well, more conservative.
Absolutely, and his journey was full of ups and downs. Imagine this. He was not just a theologian, but also a firebrand journalist and a keen political strategist, even serving as prime minister in 1901.
Yep.
That's a multifaceted legacy, fueling change across different arenas.
Right. His transformation of theology into a tool for political action. How common is that across history?
It's pretty rare. Kuyper's approach was like, rewriting the rulebook. Instead of confining religion to the church, he boldly asserted that every aspect of life, be it politics, education, or economic ventures, needed to adhere to his vision of Christ's dominion.
That's almost revolutionary. I mean, in today's context, it feels like he's laying the groundwork for a kind of, theocratic pluralism.
Yeah, it's almost paradoxical. On paper, he's promoting the idea that different spheres maintain their independence under a unified divine rule, but in practice it often results in deep societal segmentation.
Yeah, and that segmentation is visible not just in theoretical debates, but in everyday politics in West Michigan.
Exactly. The legacy of his ideas shows up in debates over, Christian schooling, state funding, and even electoral politics. His influence created a vibrant yet polarized community where religious values directly inform policy decisions.
I guess one could argue that his vision has helped keep a strong sense of identity, even if it may have not been entirely unifying.
Yeah, that's the crux of it. His model instills a powerful identity and solidarity among like-minded believers, but it also draws sharp boundaries. It's like having a tight-knit club that can sometimes be exclusive.
Do his critics ever suggest any alternatives to his rigid sphere concept?
Some do, arguing for a more integrated approach where various spheres interact more fluidly, fostering common ground rather than segregation. But then, that challenges the very core of Kuyper's original philosophy, which was to set clear boundaries to prevent one sphere from dominating another.
It's a tough balance to strike. How much independence is healthy before it turns into isolation?
Exactly. And it's interesting to see how, even a century after his prime, debates around Kuyper's ideas remain fiercely relevant, especially among those who champion Christian values in public life.
Right, and we see that echoing in the policies and the culture of regions like Grand Rapids, where his teachings still hold sway.
Yes, his ideas have literally migrated across the Atlantic, shaping not only church doctrine but also education systems and even political blocs. It really shows how
Indeed.
one man's vision can have such a far-reaching impact.
So, wrapping up, it seems Abraham Kuyper was a revolutionary whose legacy can be seen as both a bold quest for renewal and a contributor to societal division. Quite the legacy, huh?
Absolutely. His story is a reminder that powerful ideas can inspire meaningful change yet also spark controversy and division. It's, a legacy that still challenges us to think about the role of faith in shaping society.
Thanks for that deep dive. It's been eye-opening to explore the many layers of his influence, from theology to politics and beyond.
For sure. Thanks for joining in. Until next time, keep questioning and exploring the complexities of history and its impacts on our present.